Excuse me.
Let you go ahead, Coach.
All right, guys. We're back for another time. 2013. Looking forward to it. It's been a long camp. Been a productive camp. And I think one where we got the kinds of things done that will give us a chance to continue to develop as we go through these first 3 or 4 games. So this is a big game for us. We play Coastal Carolina at home this week, and it's a lot of excitement around here. It's been a long time since we've opened at home this way, so I'm excited about that. I think everybody else is too. So, I'm looking forward to seeing, how our crowd turns out and how excited they are and how much noise they can make and all that kind of stuff. So, looking forward to the weekend.
Just, Coach, how important is this first game, just from a momentum standpoint, just to get the season off on a better start than last year?
Well, it's big. Anytime you have a ranked team of this kind coming in to play at your place, then you need to put your best foot forward. And all of the posters and all the people who have anything to say about championship subdivision football will be paying attention to this game. So we need to do a good job of making a good impression this weekend.
The fact that Coastal is 14-0 against current and former MEAC teams, how much do y'all feel as though y'all carrying the mantle as well with the conference?
Well, a bunch. Anytime you got a crowd that's kind of had his way with us that way, you're always looking for an opportunity to see if you can break that string. So now's the time. These guys are really good, but I think our guys are excited about giving it a shot. So. They got to bring some, and we got to bring some. We'll see what happens from there.
What do you expect from this Coastal Carolina team?
Well, you expect a good football team, first off, one that can do a lot of things very well. Offensively, they'll be a real challenge for us in the fact that they can throw it all over the place, and they've got a great running game. I think it starts with their offensive line personnel that may be as good as any that we'll see all year, and then they've got skilled guys all over the place. Their quarterback throws around really well. The number 4 kid can really play, and then some of the other wide receivers and running back guys are extremely talented. So it'll be a big chore for us to be able to get that offense slowed down. And then defensively, they were really sound last year. They lost some personnel from last year's team, but they've got a good core group of inside guys back. They got one of the better defensive tackles that we'll play in. Both their inside linebackers are really good, so you can expect us to have some time, have a tough time handling them up inside that way. And then they've got a great idea about how to do some things in their secondary. And although they don't return as many guys on defense as they do on their offense, they've got a great idea about how to do it. So I think they'll play good defense against us.
They talked earlier this week about the fact that they have several new starters in the secondary, that there's a concern there. Do you think this receiving corps could be able to take advantage of that?
Well, let's hope so. That will be a matchup that you would think that we maybe have a chance to have somewhat of an advantage with, but you don't know exactly when you start talking about how guys develop over the off season. There's so many unknowns when you play that first game of the year that you don't know sometimes, what a guy's done that way. So yeah, they'll be somewhat different back in the secondary, but you can anticipate them being really good back there. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how we do match up against them on Saturday.
On the flip side, they have a senior receiver in Matt Hazel, who's gotten comparisons to a guy the last time you faced Coastal you had to deal with here in Jerome Simpson.
Yeah, that's a bad memory for us. He caught a ball here to beat us right at the end of the game here, but we've got a good idea about the kinds of things that Matt Hazel will try to do to hurt us. And he's one of those kind of guys that you kind of have to have an idea where he is at all times, because he's a feature style kind of receiver that way. But if you key too much on him, then some of the other guys, they've got 2 other really good receivers. They got a transfer, and they got a little kid that's one of those little guys like used to play for the Patriots. That just went to Wes Welker kind of guys. So they've got a bunch of different weapons that way. So if you get too excited about trying to stop one guy, then of course, they can hurt you with another.
Your quarterback situation right now, where does it stand and what do you expect from game one?
Well, we feel good about our two guys up front. Richard Q and Tadarius Wiley have both had good camps, and there's been times when we actually thought about maybe playing Tadarius a bunch. He hadn't played quite as good in the last week, but had a pretty good practice this morning, and looking like he's getting back to that guy that we saw earlier in camp. And Richard's kind of separated himself a little bit here in the last week, and we think that both guys will play some Saturday night. That's kind of gotten to be the thought as we've gone through camp, that both guys deserve to play. And we think both of them have played at times at a real high level, so we're hoping that both guys can get in there and really play at their best.
What about the importance of this game? Of course, the following week you have Clemson. Then you have, during your first half of the schedule, also Alabama A&M. Just how much last year was concerned about starting off slow? How much is it an equal big concern about starting off maybe 0-2?
Well, anytime you got that kind of possibility, it's a little bit scary, especially with a team that's, might be a little bit on the edge that way. But, I think that we'll go in and play good, regardless of our situation for the first half of our schedule. We pretty much know that it's important to win this Coastal game. We really want to win it. We think it'd be big for us to win it. It would be a big part of our overall strength of schedule if we could put that in the win column. But at the same time, we got to play well and got to understand that even playing well sometimes may not necessarily be good enough. And then the Clemson game 2, is one where we just got to go in there and fight for our lives that way. So we need to play good those first 2 games, regardless of the outcome. And then from that point, then we've got plenty of schedule left. So we need to make sure that we keep our heads up and continue to fight to the very end.
For the most part, it's been a healthy camp, except for the main concern, Javon Hargrave. Where do you stand with him?
Still a little bit banged up. I would say right now he's maybe 40-60 as far as playing. I'm leaning toward, or we are leaning toward, maybe holding him for this week and maybe trying to get him really ready for, the conference schedule. But we'll see where he is on Wednesday, maybe Thursday. Generally, if they're not ready to go on Wednesday, then we generally don't consider them for Saturday.
Just how much of the re-additions and the additions on the coaching staff sort of energized the staff, so energized the team?
Well, that was the thought, the fact that you bring some guys in here who have some experience, having been here, and some guys who have some experience doing some of the things that we needed to get some improvement being better at. The special teams part I think has really been interesting watching Coach Bird, and as he's organized our staff. It's not that much different from what we did last year. It's just that we just got a little different kind of style there, and then Coach Blackwell at the head of our offense has been, I think a breath of fresh air of sorts, as he's gotten a feel for what this team can possibly do and some of the kind of things that we think we could be our strengths. And then it's always a little bit of a change when you move guys around the way we move Coach Lewis and Coach Chambers. So, I'm excited by what we've seen so far and how our guys have meshed together, as far as how they've gone about their daily ways this way. So we'll see how it goes when we get a little pressure put on us, because you don't ever know exactly how it's all going to pan out until you get under the fire.
Opening game at home, what type of fan support do you hope to get?
We need a big crowd. We need one of the better crowds that we've had here, in some time. And, I'm expecting it to be, a nice day. The weather has been unbelievable. There's not a game here next to us. Clemson plays that day. Carolina plays that Thursday. So, you got kind of an open deal that way where, some of the local fans here, some of the other teams can come and see us play that day. So, I want to challenge the entire state of South Carolina. I want to challenge the entire Orangeburg community. I want to challenge the entire Midlands to come out and see us play. this Saturday night, because it'll be a tremendous opportunity to see two of the better in-state football teams go after each other.